just thinking about collecting light. I'm on to my next job now. Finished up there in Belfast, and I've a bit of room left in the car, so I think I should try and really get as much in as I can. It's just difficult at the minute because the receptacle I'm using for collecting it has a hole in it, so it's quite an intense job because the more I try and collect it, the more falls out, and it just doubles the work. Being a lone worker as well adds to the problem. I'll not go into the lack of union representation that there is in this line of work too. You're very much on your own. Health and safety sort of comes into it because, you know, if I'm carrying too much light, obviously there's restrictions on the weight of the amount of light that I'm able to take with me, and also the expenditure of miles to the gallon on diesel. So anyway, that's all the moaning done about it. The light that I have at the minute, it doesn't take up that much room in the car, so I've room for a bit more. At the minute I'm just spotting some brake lights, some red brake lights, and I think I really need to capture those. Yep, they're in the bag. A little orange indicator, he's in there too. Now I'm into the fog. I guess the weather's sort of in between that snow that we had, which was fantastic for capturing light, but it's now got a bit foggy, so I really have to keep my eyes peeled at the minute, and try and capture as much as I can, because it just kind of breaks in there through the clouds, and it's very transient. So I might have to stop this recording and capture it if I can't get it on the move. It's very elusive sometimes too, so there's skill involved in it. I've been doing this job for a very long time, and I guess it was easier years ago. I had a toolbox. Well, when I was a child I had a toolbox, blue plastic it was, and it opened out, and there was plenty of compartments that I could put the light in different compartments. But I guess when you're a child, you're not collecting as much light or darkness as you do when you go through your life. These days I'm just looking for light. I had collected so much darkness for a number of years there, that I was really top heavy in darkness, and needed to balance the books, I suppose, for the tax man coming. He needed to see more light, basically. So yeah. So anyway, I'll leave it now because I can see some light in front of me now. So I'll check in back later on. Okay. There's a lot of pleasure to be had in this job. I mean, basically you're your own boss, and you can't knock that. I have nobody really to answer to, apart from my tax returns, I suppose, at the end of the financial year. So yeah, it's nice being out in the open road, or the open field. My working day is divided between time spent on the move, looking for the right kinds of light. I'm going to say right kinds. You know, I can't ignore any light, to be honest, and I have to treat them all equally and give them, you know, my fair share of attention. as I would do. I can't be prejudiced, basically, and that's part of the job. It's easy for me. But most of the day I'm not really thinking about it, to be honest. It's just nice being your own boss and only answerable to yourself. The overheads sort of can be expensive, but I couldn't envisage myself doing anything else. Oh, wait a wee minute, there's just a kind of a bit of a headlight there in front of me. I just need to get that before he moves off. Right, that's that in the bag. Cigarette ends out of a window. Somebody seen, yeah, hold on, that's it, caught. Yeah, so there's a big variety, as you would imagine, and I like variety. Yeah, I like to get to know each piece that I'm collecting. I'd like to give it the time of day or the time of night, whatever's relevant. And there may be dull moments, but you know, there's never a dull moment at the same time. I don't think everybody could do this job, nor do I think it's, you know, it's what's the word when they say it's a special gift. I think there's aspects to the job that can be taught, and I like to take students out with me from time to time, mentoring, because then I can see what I know myself. So I'm always learning, and I think there's a lot to be learned from each situation in the collecting process of light. Yeah. And I mean, let's face it, you just don't know when something that you collect will come in useful to you. I just put it in the bag, and I've good storage facilities at home, and they're pretty secure. I don't think much, well, I've had a bit of seepage over the years, but realistically it's been fairly good at keeping it all together. So what other things do I like about this job? I think my experience to date has stood me in good stead with identifying different types and different ages of light. There's some very old stuff that I've been lucky enough to collect recently, and I think there's a fragility in that if I didn't have the experience that I have had in collecting light, they might have been a bit difficult to capture. I know what to look for, I think, is what I'm trying to say. And when I have students out with me, that's what I try and tell them. You know, it really is can be a very quick, transient thing. So you have to be always ready, you know, and be prepared for sort of the worst case scenario. You know, I mean, that light might die on you before you can collect it, and that's just the reality of the job. And that's something over the years you get used to as well. I guess you don't. You have to go into it with an open mind, and not set your expectations that high that you can't meet your quotas. Do you know? I have no idea really what's going to happen now with Brexit and climate change. I mean, both of those things will impact on my role as a light collector. You know, so it's hard to. I try not to worry about it, is the truth of it, because at the end of the day, light's light. You know, the world over. So yeah, I'm lucky that I could go anywhere in the world with this job and collect light, because light's the same the world over, as I say. It's the same and it's different. So yeah, so I'll check in again, and hopefully I'll have some more updates for you.